another assassination attempt towards Ibrahim Traore. Why are the West interested in bringing down Ibrahim Traore? All their focus is just on the president of Burkina Faso because he's the spearhead in the West. The question tonight is that why does Mali and Niger don't want to help Ibrahim Traore in fighting for the rights of Africans? The main focus of the West is just Ibrahim Traore. This is another 20th assassination attempt towards Ibrahim Traore. They tried this time to bring him down using his own best friend. Something that has never happened before. What really happened? And this is something that has just happened in Mali. Assimi Goïta has transformed Mali to be a great country. A president that came out after removing the former president through a coup. Something that is going to shock the whole world. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks so much for the love. God bless you. God bless. If you are new here, kindly subscribe and click the notification button for you to never ever miss any story that we post here in our channel. Guys, I would like you to support me through the number down there so that we can improve our sound, so that we can improve our quality of camera, so that we can improve our editing. That can happen through the support and the love of fellow Africans. It's the reason why we are bringing in this episode. We have been doing this because of you guys through the number down there your screen, known as +254 700 92 91 71. And God will really bless you so that when you start next month, you are going to be better and better forever. As we always say, we are Africans and Africa is our business. That is what we will always be talking about. That is what we will always be championing for. It's time for African to be united. There's a lot of people that have been asking themselves the reason why the West are interested in bringing down Ibrahim Traore. This is the 20th assassination attempts towards the president of Burkina Faso. All the focus of the West is on Ibrahim Traore. Today, I'm going to reveal to all the Africans the reason why they want to bring Ibrahim Traore down. Remember very well that Ibrahim Traore is the leader of the Sahel. He's the one that came out with making this Sahel, and he's the one that they know very well that if they are able to bring Ibrahim Traore down, Mali, Niger are going to be down as the same. Ibrahim Traore right now has come out and said that he doesn't fear anything. He is ready to fight for Africans and also Burkina base. The West, they want to bring him down. But something that is very amazing, Africans are awake. It's time for Africans not to be lured with anything. Africans, kindly, this is the time that we need to be united. We need to be your brother's keeper. Anytime you have a job, kindly just give your fellow African. It doesn't make sense to see that terrorists that are coming to bring the captain down, they are just Africans, confessing that they didn't have anything to do and they were lured by the West. This is not the first time that we are seeing the West are using Africans for their own self-interest. It's time for us to be awake. They want to kill our captain, someone that is trying so hard to bring unity towards Africa. The West knows very well that if they are able to kill Ibrahim Traore, Mali, Niger are going to be down because he's the one that is spearheading this revolution amongst Africans. But what they doesn't know is that most of the Africans are awake. This is not the time of Thomas Sankara. This is not the time of Kwame Nkrumah. This is not the time of Patrice Lumumba. The youths are awake. It's time to liberate Africa by working together. Like what? A 37-year-old young guy from Burkina Faso has made Africans to believe that there is hope. There is hope in Africa, that unity can make Africans to be great. That is the reason why they are highly focusing on Ibrahim Traore. But Africans will not agree that to happen. It's not only Africa. Most of the people in the whole world usually loves whatever that Ibrahim Traore is doing to Africa. He has bring light at the end of the tunnel. We are there. We are almost there. President of Mali, Assimi Goïta, for whatever that you are doing is really amazing. Inspired by Ibrahim Traore. Ibrahim Traore has made Africans to believe that we can do it without the support of the West. We doesn't need the West for us to be great. It's just about believing in ourselves that Africa has a lot of raw materials. We are the goat. We are the goat. The West cannot survive without Africans. Time to liberate Africa. In whatever that you have, you need to stand up and fight for the right of Africans. If you are not united, they are going to divide us and rule us. Don't let that to happen. You are wondering why the commodities of things are very up in the whole of Africans. It's because the West are controlling Africans with all that they have. Something that we should not allow that to happen. The West have been using African for their own self-interest. There is no country in Africa that West can be working with them if they are not benefit. Ask your question the time that you want to work with the West. What are we Africans going to benefit after this? What are the people in Africa going to get? Traore has really made change in Burkina Faso, but the problem is the terrorists. The terrorists are the one that are just being used to bring Ibrahim Traore down. Did you see the West going there to bring Ibrahim Traore? In any country that has been a coup, in any country that a coup has just happened, name them. DRC, name them Zimbabwe, Liberia, name them. What happened in Liberia the time that they finished Gaddafi? They used fellow African to bring Gaddafi down. It was someone that knew where Gaddafi was, just being lured. Right now in Libya, things are very high after the death of Gaddafi. What is really happening? Those people are really crying. The economy is very tough, and who is controlling the economy? It's the West. It is time for Africans to wake up. It is time for Africans to be united and work as a team and know that nothing can happen to our captain. Our captain has opened our eyes. The reincarnation of Thomas Sankara has done it. What about other African head of state? It is time for other African head of state to work for your country. It is time to rise up and fight to what belongs to us as Africans. The president of Nigeria, the biggest puppet. This is someone that is just being used by the West to do anything that they want. It is time for us not to agree to such things. We know that we as Africans are very educated. We should use our education to make our country to be better. Ibrahim Traore, viva! You are doing an amazing work. We as Africans are behind you. Right now, whatever that Assimi Goïta has done to the France is something that has never happened before. As you are talking, Assimi Goïta has made Mali wants to become the richest country in Africa because of gold. Remember the time of Mamusa, the time that Mamusa was in charge in Mali. Gold was there as much, and even gold lost value in Mali. That is what Assimi Goïta has been doing amazing work in Mali, inspired by Ibrahim Traore. Right now, Mali has got millions of dollars per year. Something that is coming from their country, that is gold. What used to be happen those days that something the West were controlling everything? Have you asked yourself if the West are not interested in certain countries, what do they do? A country like Sri Lanka. Have you seen a West interested in Sri Lanka? They doesn't have anything. A country like Syria. Have you seen a West interested in Syria? Because they doesn't have anything. Have you asked yourself, you as leaders, why are these West interested in Africa? Because they know very well that Africa has a lot of commodities and Africa is really doing well. Assimi Goïta producing gold in Mali and manufacturing gold in Mali is very, very amazing. Something that has never happened before. Mali very soon may become one of the richest country in Africa. The time that they started this Sahel movement, no one was on their side. But the time that you are seeing light at the end of the tunnel, you are seeing that this president, Ibrahim Traore, is really doing his best to make sure that what belongs to Africa remain in Africa. It is time for us not to be controlled as remote. It is time for us to rise up as Africans and fight to what belong to us. Unity may make us to move forward. We should never allow us to be disunited by this West. Ibrahim Traore, we are behind you. Whatever that you are doing is very, very amazing. It is something that is very amazing to see that the people that were snitching on these terrorists were the Burkinabés. The Burkinabés were the same people that were telling the government where these terrorists were hiding in Jimbo. And that is where they were found, and they have been arrested right now as you are talking. Is that president doing work or not doing work? And the president was the one that was spearheading in forefront, going to attack these terrorists over there. Remember what happened to Bobo? They went to Bobo and they dismantled all the terrorists in Bobo. Right now they are focusing on Jimbo, arresting most of the terrorists. The terrorists have come out and confessed who are the people that are behind them. More so is the West. The West are the ones that are using African for their own self-interest, luring them with just a little amount of money. Africans, we should not allow ourselves to be used by the West for their own self-interest. What are you going to gain whenever you make a president that have a vision of making your country to be better? What are you going to gain? It's going to be losses. Right now, the DRC are crying. Remember that the person that finished DRC was Mobutu Sese Seko, someone that was a big dictator in DRC. What is really happening right now in DRC? They have a lot of gold, they have a lot of copper, they have a lot of uranium, but most of them are going to the West. The West came recently and said that they are ready to help them if in exchange of gold, for them to fight the M23 rebel. Yet the M23 rebel are really trying their best to make sure that the DRC can stand on their own. It is time for Africans to rise up. It is time for Africans to be united and never ever be lured with this small amount of money. Ibrahim Traore, you are really doing an amazing job. You are really trying. Here in Kenya, tomorrow we are going to celebrate our Madaraka Day, the day that we got independence. There are so many people here in Kenya that tried their best to fight for us. Without them, we could not be celebrating our Independent Day here in Kenya. Someone like Tom Mboya, someone like Kenyatta, someone like Bildad Kagia, those were the people that are really trying their best to make sure that Africans are united. Right now we are celebrating them for bringing peace in our country. But we have got a puppet president. A president who is just being controlled by the West. Anything that is doing it in favor of the West. But we as youth are awake. This is the time that youths need to work together and liberate Africa. It's not for us, it's not for you, it's for Africa. Let's fight for our next generation to have a better tomorrow. Remember that your child, your sister, your brother is coming in to fight for the right of Africans. What can you do? We need our children to live in a better place. That is why we champion and spread about unity in Africa. We always talk about whatever that Ibrahim Traore has done to give most of African hope. Never ever give up as Africans. In whatever that you have, even two followers, 3 followers, just make sure that you talk something about Africa. Never allow Africans to be disunited. It is time for Africans to rise up and fight for their right. They are trying so hard to bring Ibrahim Traore down. The 19th assassination attempts towards him. What is the main reason why they want to bring Ibrahim Traore down? Have you asked yourself as Africans? And why are they mostly focusing on Ibrahim Traore and also luring him with something? Recently, they invited him to come to Kenya for the AFRICOM, and he's declined. Ibrahim Traore is very, very brilliant. He knows very well that how can a country that is associating himself with the West invites me to go to their event, and the event has got West. What is the West planning towards him? And this is not the first time that the West have wanted to bring Ibrahim Traore down. He knows very well, and is ready to fight for Africans. He knows very well that Africans must be united for them to move forward. If the West are trying their best to divide Africans, kindly, Africa, where you are, you need to stand up and fight for your own right. Never ever be allowed to be used by the West. That is why in this our channel we always champion on whatever the Africans are doing, in whatever Africans should stand up and fight for their right and liberate Africa. This is the time that we should be united. This is the time that we should be together as a team. We will always be preaching about unity in Africa and comparing with the leaders that have done that. Assimi Goita, you are a leader and enough. If it wasn't for you, where could be Mali? If it wasn't for Niger, President Sheni, where could be Niger? Right now, those countries are really doing well because of leaders that are fighting for the right of their common people, leaders that are trying their best to make sure that Africans are united. The assassination attempt towards Ibrahim Traore today, something that has shocked the whole world, where the West are trying its best to make sure that they bring Ibrahim Traore. How did that assassination attempt took place? Ibrahim Traore was going through Jimbo today on the 31st of May, where people came out and started attacking him with his soldiers. But it was very nice that the Burkinabes were the people that came out and protected Ibrahim Traore. That's how the assassination attempt failed, and those terrorists were killed in that process. It is time for Africans to be united. We will always be talking about Africans. As we always say, we are Africans and Africa is our business. Next month, we are going to bring you stories and news about whatever that is happening in the whole of Africa. Nigeria, Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, Namibia, name them all. Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria. That is what is very sad to see that Ivory Coast and Nigeria as just being used to make sure that they have brought Ibrahim Traore down. Something that is very sad. As you are talking right now, Nigeria and Ivory Coast president, not the people, president, are working as a team, and they are working as puppet of the West to make sure that they have bring Ibrahim Traore down. That is their main mission. Some of the head of state are pretending to be on the sides of Ibrahim Traore, but deep down they are working for the West. They are just being lured by small amount of money so that they can bring our captain down. It is time for Africa to rise up. It is time for Africa to be united. We as Kenyans, as tomorrow we celebrate our Madaraka Day, we want to remember leaders that did this for the right of Africans, leaders that has been standing with Africans. Someone like Ibrahim Traore is our hero as Africans. If it wasn't for Ibrahim Traore, Africans could never be awake. Mali could never be awake. Niger could never be awake. If you are new here, kindly subscribe, click the notification button for you to never ever miss any story that we post here in our channel, because we always focus on whatever that is trending in the world of internet. We will always be preaching about unity amongst Africans. Kindly share this video so that it can reach so many people to get information on whatever that is happening in Africa and how the West plans to bring Ibrahim Traore down. We need to protect the captain. We need to be united. Kindly and you can also support us. We will really appreciate if you support us so that we can continue spreading this word on whatever that is happening in Africa. As we always say, we are Africans and Africa is our business. Until next time, game over.